they're struggling a little bit at the moment, and that issue of parity has raised its head again. Great breakthrough pole position for the Nissan Hornets. Michael Caruso, fantastic performance. He'll be joined by Shane van Gisbergen on that front row. That is a dynamite combo. Some very fast young guys up front.
Yeah, Scotty McLaughlin on the second row with Jamie Whincup. Todd Kelly, another one of the Nissans, the Jack Daniels Racing Nissan, top 5. Craig Lowndes, obviously a crowd favourite. Fabian Coulthard, another Kiwi. James Moffat, Jason Bright, after that huge crash at Adelaide in a brand new car for Brad Jones Racing.
That's very good that he was able to qualify that car inside the top 10. Shout out as well to Robert Dahlgren. That's excellent in the second of the Volvos when you consider his first time in a V8 supercar was at the official pre-season test at Sydney Motorsport Park just a few weeks ago now.
Yeah, awesome to see him. Big improvement. You know, had to find his feet at Adelaide a few weeks ago, and it was a bit slow to obviously learn some of the stuff. James Courtney, a bad run in qualifying yesterday. The team working on different setups, and he'll revert back to a bit of a base setup today that they know works pretty good. Dale Wood, Russell Ingall, the old campaigner, making up the second to last row of the grid. Jack Perkins there in 24th.
Surprised to see Lee Holdsworth at the back of the grid too, but we should explain. Brushed the wall in qualifying yesterday out of turn 10. A little bit of suspension damage to the Mercedes. He was okay though, and he feels as though the car is making an improvement, going in the right direction, but just the way they chased the track, because this is a street circuit, because it evolves over the weekend, you're constantly trying to predict where it's at, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's really hard. I mean, he was fantastic at Adelaide. A bit of bad luck after a good qualifying. We're looking at Jack Perkins there down the back, you know, unhappy with the performance so far. Back in full time in V8 Supercars, he has worked so incredibly hard to get himself a spot back in this field, and you know, he deserves to be there. Driving superb, but as we said, FPR struggling to get on terms here.
And he improved by 8 tenths between practice and qualifying, Jack. Now, he might be at the back of the grid there, but let's put this in perspective. This is how competitive V8 Supercar has become in this new era. This is only the second appearance for the brand new car of the future at Albert Park. This entire field is covered by 1 second. That's remarkable.
5.3 kilometres, we got to remember. This is a very long circuit. I mean, one of my favourites. I mean, this circuit is just superb. I love racing here, as do all the guys. And we're obviously pretty honoured to be on the support category for a Formula 1 race, but the circuit is superb. 5.3k, so 1 second. 1 second separating the field is a phenomenal show of how competitive all these cars are.
Mark Winterbottom, Bathurst winner just a few months ago. It was a great result for the Pepsi Max Ford Performance Racing team, but they're on the back foot a little bit here. They perhaps feel as though the Fords may not be the equal, the measure of some of the other makes in this category now. And Nissan, 3 cars in the top 10. Haven't they done some great off-season work? Wonderful performance by Michael Caruso to get pole position, but he's not the only one. We should be giving some credit to James Moffat in the top 10 as well, and Todd Kelly in car 7, starting out of P5 after a great job in quali.
Yeah, it was a big year last year. You know, obviously getting the new cars working for those guys who bought in new marques. You know, big talk about aerodynamics, about the efficiency of the aerodynamics, the drag, all that coefficient. Drag coefficient and stuff like that, and the amount of downforce these cars are creating, and that was a big issue, talked about a lot. You know, the Nissan team, they worked very, very hard to get some changes implemented, and that happened over the break after the Sydney 500 was complete. And I would say, based on the performance so far, based on the performance at Adelaide, based on how quick they are here on a very different circuit that has got a lot of high-speed corners, you'd have to say that a lot of that has played into their hands, and it's worked, you know, considerably well for that team.
If you follow the sport closely, you'll notice that it's a different livery, a different paint scheme for Michael Caruso's car. Special paint scheme for the races here at Albert Park. They're supporting Beyond Blue. The former Victorian Premier, the Honourable Jeff Kennett, was actually in the race suit in this garage on Thursday, and it's a great initiative. Norton continuing to support, and Semantic continuing to support Beyond Blue. So behind the safety car now, they'll file or gather up into 2 rows, nice and tight. They've only got 16 tyres for the weekend too, and Dunlop have given the teams the soft rubber. And that's created a couple of interesting situations too, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've got 4 sets of tyres for the weekend, and they have to use, they've got 4 colours on each of those sets, and they've got to use that colour set of tyres at the start of each of these races. So they're keeping an eye on everybody. We've got a very level playing field as far as tyres are concerned. New set of tyres for every car for each race, which is fantastic. Now, the double file restart, they have to be sitting between 50 and 60 kilometres an hour as they present themselves to the green flag. There is a radar gun up there making sure that the leader is sitting in that speed, and if he is not, he will be in a bit of trouble.
The race is scheduled for 10 laps or to finish under time. So at 11:29 local, 11:29 Eastern, plus 1 lap. So it could run to time. And we are ready. We are waiting for some fireworks. Damien White.
Yeah, he'll be standing up on the starters rostrum with that green flag in hand, determining if he is happy with their formation. As we can see them all forming up now, Mike Caruso will be the one setting the pace between 50-60k. He's moving Van Gisbergen right over to the left-hand side. They talked about this in the driver's briefing. He's got him right over as far as he can get him. As everybody else streams around the lineup, Jack Perkins comes around the back, Lee Holdsworth. He's got that car as far over as he can possibly get to get that run.
There
it is, into turn 1. He wants the widest angle he can possibly get into one. Here we go, he's inside the zone now.
Get ready for fireworks. We are away and racing.
They fan out. Everyone fans out as they enter the zone. Caruso with a great start. Van Gisbergen's going to look down the inside under brakes. I think he's got him. He's gone super deep. Van Gisbergen using all the road through one as they stream through.
The techno entry of the Kiwi. Shane Van Gisbergen leads this for VIP Pet Foods. And it was a good move by the looks of it by Will Davison.
Whincup down the outside. Even Van Gisbergen's been caught a little bit here. He'll run him wide, though, onto the curb, using every bit of road. Caruso will not be happy with that start. He tried to push over to the left, but he should have been covering the right.
Fabian Coulthard in the mix here, arguing with Craig Lowndes. Coulthard said, my car wasn't a great qualifying car in Adelaide, but it was a terrific race car. Look how hungry he is at the moment.
Yeah, really hungry. Up inside Craig Lowndes as they stream through. Down the back, heading down to turn 10, a big braking part of the circuit and a passing opportunity. Caruso blocking McLaughlin, running the S into the corner. As we look at Tander down the inside, he's going to be a bit of a touch here. The two Nissans, the one Jack Daniels and the other Norton Hornet of Mr. Moffat, as Tander takes advantage of that little touch-up between those two cars.
Look at Will Davison here, defensive. Chaz Mostert was the best of the Falcons on the grid, the best for Ford Performance Racing as well. He's hustling there in the Pepsi Max entry. And Tander maybe trying to by the Volvo up the inside of our pole sitter, Michael Caruso. That's for 3rd place. And the over and under, Caruso comes back at him.
He got a great run. He's going to hold the outside. He should be able to stay there and get the run. The inside run into the second to last corner. Some super stuff there, but the Volvo, so impressive.
And it sounds so different too, doesn't it? Very European sound. Coulthard now running with those three as they battle for 3rd. Look at Whincup, edge right up on the back of that VIP Pet Foods entry.
In the background, Davison moving right over to the left. He's looking to block it. Rick Kelly's on the grass. Down into 1. Has he made the move? Yes, he has. He's got through on Davison. Bright hustling behind.
We'll talk more about Jason Bright's car in the broadcast today. They have worked super hard, Team BOC, to get him here. Whincup hustling and pushing.
And looking strong.
Kimi Räikkönen arrives at the circuit.
In style too, Rusty.
Yeah, in style. What a way to go. Day 1 practice. We can't wait to see these new Formula 1 cars on circuit. And what a combination at Ferrari this year. The double world champion in Fernando Alonso and Räikkönen back in red colours. Terrific to see him returning to Ferrari.
That is going to be exciting times. Seeing him there, teaming up with Fernando Alonso. As we go back to the action, Jason Bright looking pretty racy at the back, behind Davison. Not able to make an opportunity this time into turn 10, but he's looking very strong.
Gee, they worked hard at Brad Jones Racing, didn't they, in that short window between the races to get that new car ready. This is good stuff from Van Gisbergen. This guy...
He's challenged at the moment, though.
He's challenged, but he just loves driving, whether it's drifting. He took part in the Daytona 24-hour in the last few months as well and got rave reviews there. Jeroen Bleekemolen helped tip him into that ride, didn't he? And here's Whincup now.
Look how racy Whincup is looking. He looks desperate. Obviously qualified on the second row for this race. He would be looking at every bit of information last night to work out how he can improve. They would have worked hard on that car, and it's looking very good this morning. Scott McLaughlin looking real good, though, behind him.
Let's listen here on board with Whincup. They get around this track in about a minute 55 in qualifying. Right now, the fastest man on the circuit is in that Volvo. The Valvoline Gary Rogers entry of Scott McLaughlin, a 57.7. Rogers has said in the paper today he wants to prove that the result in Adelaide was no fluke. They are here and they are playing hard.
Well, I think he's proven that. There's no question about it. Here's the start. And we've got an investigation on car 9 for jumping the start. As you can see them fan out. And car 9 is Will Davison there in the Mercedes. And he did get a big run and a big advantage. Look at them pull out. So they'll be looking at the acceleration zone as to where he positioned himself at the time when he's fanned out across the track, and investigating if he has done that too early. But Van Gisbergen, what a great start. He really got the better of Michael Caruso there.
How's the bravery with some of the late braking as well? Jamie Whincup was a star down into turn 3. Watch this on the outside here.
Yeah, he even caught Van Gisbergen, who is the last of the late breakers. He was able to squeeze him, though, a little bit wide and get that advantage out of turn 4. And here's the replay of Rick Kelly on the grass.
Not rolling off that throttle at all.
Yeah, and he shouldn't have either. I mean, that's pushing everything to the absolute limit. Will Davison moving him over as far as he could. Back to the front.
We'll keep an eye on this, and at the same time, we're getting excited about Formula One practice. More drivers arriving. Mark?
Sergio, welcome back to Australia. New team, new year. How are you feeling?
Yeah, very happy. Really excited to be part of this new era of Formula One. I think it will be a really interesting one, and yeah, looking forward to start.
A lot of talk about the engines. You've got a pretty nice one in your car at the moment.
Yeah, we do. We do have a really good engine, and hopefully we can have that advantage throughout the year. That will be really good for us.
We've got a lot of fans in this part of the world. Have a great week. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
Mark Howard there with a very calm Sergio Perez. It would not have been that way either in that Red Bull Commodore or the Volvo S60. What about that on the front straight? This is on.
Yeah, this is on, and it's getting a little bit over the top as far as I'm concerned with the blocking. Jamie Whincup pushed McLaughlin way too far over to the right-hand side there, forced him onto the grass. We saw it a few laps ago with Will Davison and Rick Kelly, but this has taken things to a whole new level. Tyre dent was a big conversation piece earlier on. Reynolds, turn 4, recovering.
He sounded flat yesterday, like Jack Perkins as well, just not able to get the result. Has everybody stepped up around them during the off-season? Maybe that's an issue. This is all working out well for Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, well, he's held a really good pace. He held on early on. The setup of his car didn't look too good on those tyres the first few laps, while Whincup was putting the pressure on. But Whincup has had a couple of issues here. McLaughlin's put the pressure on, had a couple of runs at him, and the gap's opened up. That'll give Shane the opportunity to look after his tyres. The teams were talking about tyre degradation on the circuit, saying that the soft tyre, the long loaded corners, is having a bigger effect than maybe what they thought it was. McLaughlin having another look. Jamie Whincup strong under brakes though. McLaughlin, I think though, he's going to have another crack here. Here's the replay onto the front straight on the last lap. Whincup moved him right over, too far.
Oh, how close to you
Too far, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of an investigation into that one.
This is wild. There are no championship points to play for here.
Which is great.
We have points to determine an overall winner for the weekend and double points in Sunday's final race. Everyone wanting to walk away from here without any incidents. This is wild. We'll grab a break. Stay with us, whatever you do. We're racing at Albert Park, and it's game on in the V8 Supercars. Stick around. at Albert Park. You're watching the MSS V8 Supercar Challenge, race 1 of 4 for the weekend. Shane Van Gisbergen, the Kiwi, leads this comfortably from Jamie Whincup, and we've seen some attempted passes. Almost got it done by Scott McLaughlin during the commercial break, but there is some official stuff going on here. I think a flag has been shown, or will be shown to Jamie Whincup this time round.
A bad sportsmanship flag for Jamie Whincup, who, we don't often see this, is holding up the field at the moment. McLaughlin has made some amazing moves on the champion in the Red Bull Racing car, and he has been blocking just hugely. I can't believe it, actually. It's not what we're used to seeing. Shane Van Gisbergen has managed to be able to just get a huge lead on the rest of the field. And we have Roland Day standing by as we see some debris on the road.
Roland, welcome. It's on the track there. I would have thought most people would have wanted to walk away from Albert Park with no issues or damage. How did you sort of see that before between Jamie and Scott McLaughlin?
Yeah, it was interesting. Jamie blocked him down into turn 1, but McLaughlin didn't have an overlap at that point. So you know, I think it's all pretty fair at the moment, but everyone needs a reminder probably. But it's making the racing, isn't it? We want to try and keep that Kiwi under control. We don't want too many Kiwis getting out of control here.
Mate, what's wrong with the Kiwis, Roland?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Roland, while we've got you, fans of the sport would have noticed what appears to be increasing tensions with Ryan Walkinshaw. Is there anything in that? Is it okay? What can you tell the fans watching the sport today?
We've all got to have a little bit of controversy, haven't we? In the sport, it'd be dull as dishwater if we were all big mates all the time. There's a bit of fun that we've got to have. But I'm doing a breakfast tomorrow with Tim Edwards and Adrian Burgess, and we're joking about it in the week. It's part of what we do. You know, we don't want to be too bland, do we?
Not at all. Hey, mate. Just on this, it made a little bit surprised. Obviously, Shane had maybe a different sort of start to that race, maybe tyre pressures, that kind of thing. And at the moment, we do see Jamie sort of having to defend. He was very strong at the start. So what are you putting that down to? Setup or tyre pressure, or what have you done to the car?
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know what we've done this morning. I've left everyone to their own devices here, but you've hit the nail on the head. There's probably some differences in the air pressures going into the start of this race between the cars. Looked as though the Nissan might have been very low to start with. Jamie might have been a little bit higher, and now it's all stabilized a little bit more. So the fight between Jamie and Scotty McLaughlin gave Shane a break, which he's taken very, very well, frankly, from probably being a little bit weak in the first lap.
Roland Dane, team owner for Red Bull Racing Australia, thank you very much for joining us. We'll continue watching the action here because we're counting down the laps in the first race of 4 for the weekend in V8 Supercars. This guy, he's not cruising, but it is a comfortable margin at the moment for Van Gisbergen. A 1:57.4 last time around from Whincup, with McLaughlin third. Best of the Falcons at the moment is Chaz Mossad inside the top 10. We'll go back to Mark Howard for some more news in the paddock.
Felipe, great to see you back in Australia. New team, new season. Exciting times for yourself.
Yeah, it's very excited. So now it starts. So I hope we can have a good start, good race in front of these great people.
They love you in this part of the world. It's been a really unusual testing, so no one's quite sure what to expect this afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, now we're gonna start having some answers. You know how we are compared to the other teams, how they are as well. You know, and. Yeah, now is where it counts.
We appreciate your time. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy the crowd. Thanks.
Thank you.
And you know, the telling thing there is the smile for Felipe Massa during the break. He moved from Ferrari to Williams. His engineer, Rob Smedley, has come with him, and that looks like a genius move. Williams switching from Renault power to Mercedes, and they've been really strong in testing. We'll see today in practice live here whether it's the real deal, but certainly in the pre-season it looks very good for a resurgence from Williams. That's a great story if it is. Van Gisbergen continuing to lead. Nissan doing an exceptional job at the moment. Our pole sitter Caruso fourth. We've got James Moffat in the top 10, so too Todd Kelly, and Rick Kelly is 11th. 4 Nissan's in the top 11. Superb.
Yeah, it is superb. They're doing a very good job. Mike Caruso obviously didn't get the start that he would have wanted, fallen back a couple of spots. And we're talking to Roland before about the tyre pressure thing. So sensitive, especially with the soft tyre. And there would have been different strategies. We saw Van Gisbergen, who's now controlling the race very, very easily at the front, probably had those tyre pressures down a little bit. It looked like Whincup probably had them up a little bit, and now everything's settled down. Everybody's found, you know, just where their setups are and how the car's working. Things have settled down. Their tyres have you know, also tyre pressures have also settled. And now we see McLaughlin's just dropped off the back of Whincup ever so slightly. So this will be information they'll use for the next race coming up in a couple of hours. And it'll be, Whincup uses every single and more of the Albert Park track out of a turn 11, removing the mirror from the Red Bull Commodore. In car now with Scott McLaughlin in the Volvo.
Let's listen here.
Just watching the wheel work, and you can see, Lowndes has gone deep. I think he's run wide. Had a bit of a lock up in the rear.
And he's under pressure now. Yep.
Tander's made the move. It just saw the rear of the Red Bull 888 car move ever so slightly under brakes, and that would have drifted him a little bit wide. Gave Tander the opportunity to get past, as we see them just finishing off that manoeuvre now with James Moffat looking on, trying to capitalise. As they start the last lap.
Yep.
Van Gisbergen, 1 lap to go, 5.3 Ks of the Albert Park circuit. Whincup looking comfortable.
What a way to open the day. We literally welcomed you and said, let's go racing. And this has set the tone for the weekend. Still 3 races to come after this one. And as we said before, double points on offer on Sunday.
Just listen how subtle he's being on every single action that he makes on the gear shift, the wheel work very soft into the corners. He's looking after those tyres. Very smooth on the throttle. As we see the 2 Jack Daniels cars, the brothers Kelly, going still at it. They're on Chaz Mostert. This is the last lap. Will Davison's in on that battle too, in the Erebus Mercedes, and getting a good run out of turn 10 through 11. Rick has had to cover. So the race is not over. Still the fight goes on with a half a lap to run for these guys at the front. Shane Van Gisbergen will be cruising at this stage, still setting the fastest second sector.
Shout out in the background there to Mark Winterbottom. Started 18th on the grid, has clawed his way to 13th. Not quite close enough to that battle, that group we were just watching. But this guy is about to take it out. The Techno team, certainly in the last 12 months, they have come on in leaps and bounds.
And trademark
for the crowd.
A trademark Shane Van Gisbergen finishing this race. The first one here at Albert Park. What a great win. Well controlled, well driven.
Race 1 victory to the Kiwi. Jamie Whincup will finish in 2nd place. Hard luck for Michael Caruso, the pole sitter, finishes outside the top 3, and Scott McLaughlin, another very strong showing from Volvo. Mostert inside the top 10 for Ford Performance Racing. So we take a look at the results. 75 points for the opening race. They get 75 for each of the races. But on Sunday, there's 150 up for grabs. And remember, they've got a bank of tyres, 16 soft Dunlop tyres that they've got to manage right across this weekend. So well done to the top 3 there. Garth Tander, will we see him win another race and challenge that tally that Russell Ingall has had? He's had some terrific race results here, Ingall, over the years, and is kind of the master of Albert Park, certainly in history terms.
In history terms, he is. He probably won't be too happy with his finish there in 19th today, but as you can see by the times, a big gaggle of cars there that were very close. Mark Winterbottom, as you said before, 13th there. Jason Bright had an off. He was well inside the top 10 and had an excursion that we didn't see. James Courtney moved forward from outside the 20 into 15th. As we see, Scott Pye, Jack Perkins, Dale Wood, David Wall and David Reynolds after that spin, which I think he was helped by someone, finishing up the field.